Hey guys, welcome to Panthers Forecast. I'm gonna make this one really quick. I just got back from a flight. It's pretty hectic. I went from Philly to Orlando to Austin, Texas, and from Orlando to Austin. I was getting good coverage, but then a thunderstorm around Houston, and of course when the game starts, I missed probably. I saw bits of it, and I also watched some of it on my phone. It was very scattery due to the thunderstorms in the area, but I was able to watch a good portion of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. My thoughts are it's still a good game. I thought we played really well. I'm not gonna place too much blame. The only area I would say I'd place the blame, but it's an area that I don't think that we can fix right now. It's just probably our offense and our receiver core. It just seems like from what I was able to see in the third and then in the fourth quarter, we weren't able to get things going as far as taking, deep shots. We did get that one touchdown with Tedero McMillan, but it just felt like, most of Bryce pass completions are some of his pass plays were mainly just like being dumped off to Chuba or Rico Daddle, and that seems to be a big or also a decent amount of our passing offense. So that's something we got to start getting. We're probably going to have to just do a wide receiver overhaul in the off season. Get some new receivers in and maybe draft a few. Maybe in the draft we may have to draft because I don't know free agency wise. From the last video I did when I talked about the free agency and the draft, there wasn't. I don't think there was too many wide receivers out there. And I mean, George Pickens isn't going anywhere. Dallas is gonna cuff him up, and then he's gonna want a lot of money. But I thought our defense did good. I saw that they picked off Brock Purdy three times. I missed the first two. I saw the last pick that JC had, and unfortunately he got out, and some of our other defenders got out as well. Like I can't remember who was our other defenders that got out of this game, but I know Chandler Savala was out of this game, and then we also had another linebacker or corner. I think maybe Corey Thornton probably went out of this game with a injury. But I mean, overall, I think the defense did a good job. But I think right now our offense, we sort of rely on Rico Dowdle running also, but we also rely on these. I wouldn't say like heavily rely on these, but you see a lot of times when we're in a particular like pickle or so that those dump offs to Chuba or Rico, those typically get us out of a second and long or a third and long. We got to get to the point where we can just, draw back and then we can hit Coker for 15. We can hit Liget for 20. It just seems like the out dump offs to Chuba and Rico take a big part of our off. Well, they're a crucial part of our offense for when we get into second and third long, and that shouldn't always be the case. If you have a team that is doing these dump offs, not even screens, but just dump offs to the slide, or like just running backs just running over because people are just covering the deep stuff and keeping you down, keeping you at bay or in front of them. So we're I don't know what it's going to look like against the Rams because the Rams are going to be better than the 49ers. And if we're not attacking the ball, down the field, or if other receivers like Liggett or Coker, they're not giving us big plays, and I guess maybe Jimmy Horn doesn't have that in his bag, but I'm hoping he does have that in his bag. But then also, Canales doesn't really put him in that situation where we can see if Jimmy Horn has that potential to give us that spark on the offense. Because I mean, this next coming up game against the Rams, I mean, they did a number on Baker Mayfield. I watched a little bit of that game, but they were manhandling him, and then just wonder what's going to happen to Bryce. The 49ers were still getting into him pretty good, but he was still staying up in the pocket, and they kept him up in the third and fourth quarter from what I saw. But overall, looking at this game, I would say the main takeaways is that we're going to need a wide receiver overhaul. I know I've been saying this on all, but we are going to need a wide receiver overhaul this coming up off season. Another thing, I thought our defense did good. I hated that field goal play at the end in the fourth quarter. Like, why the hell are we going for a 57-yard field goal? I understand, you get that. It'd be like 12 to 20, but he's not making that 57 kick. Like, that's a rookie. Why the hell are we? We should have just went for it and lost the game that way. And I think that's really how we should go about it. I mean, we got to start attacking. We can't just sit up here. We're in a we're really in the thick of it right now with this offense because I think the defense is fine, but the offense we got to find a catalyst on there because I mean these next games against the Buccaneers. Now the Buccaneers don't have. I think he had like a joint shoulder, AC joint shoulder injury. I don't think he needed surgery, but I do know those take a while. So Baker might be out for a week or two, but I know it's on his non-throwing shoulder. But one of the last balls he threw before he was taken out of the game, it was a pretty limpy throw. So I don't really know if he'll be playing next week or if he'll be playing us after the bye. We'll see. But going back to what I was saying with the what was I saying? Kurt, I just lost my train of thought. I was over here thinking about the Buccaneers, but oh yeah, these next teams that we're going up against, they're going to stop the run. They're going to stop the run. The only team I would probably say that we could probably maybe running the ball, even if if Rico does a decent job and Chuba does a decent job, it maybe obviously the Saints, if they do a decent job and we can get a little passing going, that's fine. But I just think that it's starting to seem like with these other teams, these highly upper echelon teams, we can't be focusing on being one dimensional and run. We have to get that passing offense going. But unfortunately we can't really make a change this season. I mean, we would just be hoping on Jimmy Horn, hopefully having that in his bag. But yeah, the T Mac, XL, and Coker. We may have to change that up. We need to get more juice and that wide receiver room. So I think that was the one thing that stood out most was we need more juice in the wide receiver room. Thought the defense did good. Didn't really like the fact that we had to get the offense sort of going or even moving the ball down the field up for that. Even with that the Tedorora 29-yard touchdown. I want to say two of those big plays were really just dump offs to Chuba, dump offs to Rico. We got to start getting it down the field, and then also too with that second. I didn't see Bryce Young's first interception, so I don't know how bad that was. But the second interception, there was a hold. One of the defenders held T Mac, and probably if he wasn't held, T Mac would have probably been able to get a hand on the ball. I don't know if he would have caught it, but he probably would have deflected the ball and it probably wouldn't have been intercepted. But an interesting point was I was watching the broadcast on Monday Night Football, and Troy Aikman said that Coker was streaking down the field, would have been an easy touchdown. And he said that Bryce still had pressure. They didn't show the view of Coker running on that play. I wish they would have showed that. But that has happened sometimes where I think Bryce goes for the safe plays and there is a dude streaking. So I think Dave's gonna have to start talking with Bryce about improving that aspect of I know that's the safe man, but just you know what I'm saying? Just know that, like, you could possibly have a dude streaking down for a big play, and I think that's something I think Bryce needs to improve on. Going on, later on. Well, going into these next coming up games, but also in the off season, Bryce has to start taking advantage of these streaking receivers are trying to get these big plays are starting to be hungry and want the big plays. We need to start getting that drilled into Bryce because I mean we can't be taking too many of these like save down. We're gonna have to start like Bryce is just gonna have to start staying in there, and then just trusting, trusting his receivers, trusting himself, knowing that he knows where people are going to be at on the field, and not so much necessarily always doing the check downs. But yeah, that's all I had from the game. I felt it was moderate. I felt it was very in between how I felt about this performance in the game. But the three interceptions from our defense, gotta love that. Our offense got to step up. We can't be always relying on these dump offs to Rico and Chuba. We have to start getting Coke or tight ends. People are gonna have to start getting open, and we're gonna have to try to start finding juice. Into this offense. I do think that we're going to have a wide receiver overhaul. And then one last thing, I saw like I think at ESPN, like a 200 or maybe a 100 big draft board prospect. And most of those prospects were corners. So this might be a corner rich draft. I don't see too many linebackers or receivers. I saw like Lemon from USC. I saw him play Saturday against the Oregon. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of Steve Smith with the New York Giants. That Steve Smith. Like, we might need a little bit more juice, but I'm going to try to watch some of these college games and then, see who we should probably go for as a wide receiver to bring some juice in there. But, just going to end it off by saying that, I'm gonna try to make a video for the LA Rams game. I'll be flying back to Philadelphia on Friday, so I'll probably make a video on Saturday or maybe Friday night, talking about the LA Rams game. But that Rams game is going to be really interesting. We most definitely have to get that offense passing. If we have any crazy, lofty dreams of beating the Rams, we have to get that passing offense going, and we're going to have to start getting tight ends more involved, and then we always say this, but hopefully Canales can start putting in Jimmy Horn, and we can see how Jimmy Horn start running some of these deep vertical routes. I swear he has juice. I don't get why we just put him for one play, bring him out. So overall, a decent game. Even though we took the loss this week, but like I said, this is the rival of the storm. So we're gonna see what team that we have, and I felt like they did their best this game, and just offensively we couldn't show up. So just got to work on the offense. But that's it for Panthers forecast. I'll be talking with you guys pretty soon, and for those of y'all watching, happy Thanksgiving and take care. Enjoy. Bye.